I suppose this would be my last chance to say it, but of course, please watch from the beginning with Season A, or the first of my run with Season E, and continue with Season F to get yourself up to speed. So, without further ado, so the last time I spoke about this project, Kate McGrath had a peculiar second season with Erin the Phelan, her companions, leaving for a marriage as her doctor would be removed into a pocket reality to serve a sentence by the Master, played by Hannah Wallingham, and Mary Daggett, played by Missy Pyle, as she gained a brand new companion, Aaron Middleton, played by Tom Mission, who's basically a trusting friend who the Doctor trusts due to the events of the Season E Christmas special. I can say he will continue throughout his run with Katie's Doctor as they become more closer throughout the series. But last but not least, my main goal for this season is finality. This is the final season for myself and Katie's Doctor, so why not make it the aim of this season? To make it feel like it's the last steps that it can take. In which it will, in many, many different ways. But to what costs? Well, you'll just have to find out for yourself as we begin our last journey into this season. Good Friday has hit the pocket dimensions now. Something more sinister is happening as the mayor of the town is about to unveil something mysterious for Easter morn. The Doctor and Aaron prepare themselves for the worst that is yet to happen. So instead of starting with episode 1, this series begins with an Easter special that entails the Doctor and Aaron being informed of an event that will be happening on Easter Sunday from the mayor of the town. With this information, the two decide to break into the offices of the mayor to find out what he's hiding with the help of the town clerk Celine, who allows them to find out more about her plans. They find what seems to be a blank piece of paper in which the Doctor deduces that it's actually psychic paper. However, before they can discover what has been written, the mayor traps the two inside to keep it a secret. After waking up to not much time left, the Doctor and Aaron race to the event to make it there in time. The event turns out to be a public sacrifice where one of the occupants of the town is to be sacrificed. The mayor brings out Celine as his candidate before she kills him, which opens a portal that releases an entity which takes Celine's body as a host to corrupt everybody in town. However, using her last part of humanity, Celine runs towards the portal as she sacrifices herself as the entity disappears, allowing the portal to close. With no mayor of the town, the Doctor takes the role with Aaron being a special advisor as they return to their home, packing to be ready for the new responsibilities that these roles can bring. But when an old friend of the Doctor, Romana, arrives bringing death and destruction, will this entail in a battle that the Doctor and Aaron can win, or perhaps it may turn out to be one that they have to lose? Romana, still played by Kieran Sonia Sawar, arrives on Earth as she tries to find a signal that has turned faint in a trail which has been tracking for a while. She pops into units to see with Brigadier Collins about using their equipment to help her before the trail scanning is cut short when something chasing Romana gets closer as she discovers the location of the portal that took the Doctor. She locates the portal in an abandoned version of the Master's office as she takes a look at the files that back up all the Master's doings from the previous season, such as establishing herself on Earth, but also some new details about a new plan off-world which she keeps before finding the frequency of the portal to which she walks through, finding herself in front of the Doctor and Aaron. Romana tries to convince the Doctor to leave the pocket dimension just as the creature that was following Romana finds itself in the office devouring everything in sight. This gives the Doctor a chance to leave as she recognises it from when she once saw them devouring a planet. The three of them run and they make it to the original portal that placed the Doctor in the dimension as Aaron looks at the horror of his old home fading away as the three jump into the portal before closing it to trap the creature there forever. Arriving back on Earth, the monk has taken over the UK for his own means as the Doctor's team have now become public enemies. Is this the life they must lead, or is there something else that can be behind all of this? Continuing from the previous episode, the Empty Master's office hosts the return of the Master, but the Doctor is not phased, as she deduces that the Master is actually the shapeshifter from Season E's Eternal Legend, which turns out to be true as she reveals that 3 weeks ago the monk was released from prison and he made the Doctor's team public enemies, as thankfully Brigadier Collins helps them as she locks them inside unit to assume their arrest. She also helps them find out that the monk is about to board a plane to America to spread its chaos, especially with Constance Johnson, who's an heir to a certain Johnson that the Doctor and the monk were both involved with in 1929. The Doctor tells them that she won't be able to make it in time, which Collins changes as she unveils the TARDIS having acquired it from the Master. The Doctor and their team pilot the TARDIS to the monk's plane as they stop it taking off as the monk stabs the Doctor in front of Romana and Aaron, before the real Doctor steps out, having used her time to cancel the signal which is keeping everybody to think that she was a public enemy. Romana and Aaron take the shapeshifter inside at heels. The Doctor has a little chat with the monk as she later recalls inside the TARDIS as a clue to a new whereabouts of the Master as they return the shapeshifter home. The team land on a random planet that seems to be the disused factory of Vok robots, as it seems to almost go wrong when something causes a commotion that may close up the planet for good. The TARDIS lands on a random place as the team enter what seems to be a disused factory on a different planet as they discover it's a disused factory for Vok robots, which the Doctor notes a history with. However, out of all these disused robots, Romana requires the assistance from one named Geo3, as the Doctor decides to give Aaron a history tour and explains about her past history with them. Through Romana's search for the Geo3 robot, something in the background decides to switch a robot on, which starts a chain reaction switching other robots on to activate as her search becomes harder with all the robots working at the same time. Aaron decides to fight some of them to defend the Doctor and Romana as the Doctor gives Romana some help to find Geo3 before it's destroyed. They find Geo3 as it starts to give a clue for the Doctor and Romana as the rest of the Vok robots surround the two of them, from Aaron accidentally leading a ton of them into the same room as the Doctor and Romana, which doesn't allow the Doctor much time to order the main commander the Geo3 to stop the other robots from attacking the trio, which it responds before processing a shutdown and allows the Doctor, Romana and Aaron to get back to the TARDIS. A batch of coordinates decide to throw the team a mirror to another world as they discover that something wants revenge, and it's not going to give the Doctor's team an easy escape. Whilst travelling, Romana takes a closer look at the information from the Geo3 robot as it deciphers into coordinates for a mysterious location. Convincing the Doctor and Aaron to take a look, they land on a planet which has a temple that has a gateway disguised as a mirror to another dimension. Aaron walks through the mirror world to have a look, but it turns out he cannot return back. The Doctor and Romana, curious where he is, jump into the mirror to find him as they discover where they've ended up. Aaron is dragged through the mirror world by two people as he's taken to a holding prison to where he meets a woman called Ravine. Ravine convinces him to break out with enough brute force that can be heard throughout, as this tells the Doctor and Romana where he is. Aaron and Ravine, throughout this commotion, make their way to a throne room as Ravine explains about the history of the planet and how it was destroyed by a powerful being in a fit of anger and rage. Inside the throne room, Ravine accidentally turns on a portal back to the proper universe as the Doctor and Romana arrive to find Aaron and that everybody else, including Ravine, are actually part of the Gelf. Ravine senses something different than the Doctor and Romana, which gets worse when Aaron reveals that they are time ladies, as she tries to choke them to convert them into more host bodies. Aaron makes his escape back to the proper world as the Doctor finds out that the Master destroyed the planet as she and Romana escape to the proper world as Aaron breaks through the link, saying nothing until they go back to the TARDIS to leave to never return again. 3 random clues fixating on a mysterious planet. The Doctor and their team discover what is known as the planet beyond the darkness as it brings hosts to things that may not want to be discovered. Romana explains to the Doctor on how the Master has been leaving clues to find her, which the Doctor tells her to ignore after recalling the account of the Gelf. Deciding what was best for all of them, Romana takes control of the TARDIS herself, which the Doctor tries to intervene before she can find out that they've landed on board a discovery ship owned by Dr. Hatter of Hatterverse. He introduces them to his plan, which is to fly to the planet beyond the darkness. The 4 of them land as Hatter explains about a cave which he points to whilst they enter. However, something takes Hatter as he disappears from the cave, which allows everybody to follow to try and find him, whilst they find a creature called Aklet, who points to them as energy and encapsulates them before everything fades to white. Instead of death, it seems that they were teleported to beneath the cave, into the planet's surface as Hatter walks by to say hello, as it turns out he didn't die. Instead of death, it seems that he was teleported to beneath the cave, into the planet's surface as he takes them to another cave whilst talking about a nice woman who was able to save him and other people, and he praises how that he will be used in the grand plan, as the tunnel ends into a throne room, as the woman in the throne turns around to reveal that she is the Master, as the episode ends on that cliffhanger. The Master immediately places Aaron in a frozen position as Romana immediately susses out a meter of madness to her, which must have occurred the last time the Doctor met the Masters. The Doctor inquires why Aaron can't be included in the current plan of the Masters, as the Master explains that she needs a Gallifreyan for her plan to create a new Gallifrey, with all their information over the originals. But first she needs a Time Lord to transfer the memory. The Doctor offers up her memory. She connects herself to the machinery that the Master has built for these plans, as she wishes Romana and Aaron luck as she starts connecting up, giving them the knowledge as it starts to kill her at the same time. Noticing the Doctor is going to die, Romana pushes out the machinery as the Doctor disappears to somewhere safe. The Doctor wakes up inside the TARDIS and does a mediscan on herself as she finds out she only has a 27% life expectancy. As she remembers Aaron and Romana are still there, she travels back to the planet's inside to collect them, as she finds the whole complex on fire, with Aaron rushing to safety to tell the Doctor to take off, as he gives her a letter from Romana that explains that Romana brought the Master back to Gallifrey to be locked up, as the Doctor asks Aaron if he wants to leave, but he declines due to him having nowhere to go, and that he just wants to keep the Doctor safe, which he admires as they leave the planet waving goodbye to Hatter. Get ready to be amazed, as now humans have the technology to cross from their world to paintings and galleries. However, this all seems wrong as the Doctor discovers reuniting with Josephine Day as what should have been an advancement for the humans turns out to be a memorable disaster. TARDIS arrives in the National Gallery in London as Aaron spots a poster for an event for a press launch for an art piece, as of course they attend as they come to a visit as Aaron looks around the gallery whilst the Doctor finds someone familiar in the crowd, Josephine Day, as they reunite as Josie explains to the Doctor she was brought to this event for something to do with the main attraction, as it is revealed by the developer of the technology named Jacob Dolby, as he crosses over from their world to a painting as everybody is amazed. However, Josie isn't, as she asks the Doctor and Aaron to help her. The Doctor agrees, but Aaron decides to stay on Earth to discover anything that could stop it from convulsing the two worlds into the painting. Josie and the Doctor find Jacob as Jacob starts to pull things out of the painting and into the gallery as an abstract creature appears, whilst Aaron gets everybody else as he deals with the creature himself. The Doctor tries to talk to Jacob as Jacob ignores her and brings more creatures into the gallery, as the Doctor overpowers him for the object he's using as she takes it off at Jacob, turns it off so it can't be used, but they can get back to the gallery, in which they return to close the dimension. With Josie inside the TARDIS, the Doctor asks if she wants to join Aaron, which she accepts without hesitation before they leave the painting with a note on it to say this is broken. Trying to give Josie her first proper trip in the TARDIS, the three get stopped by the Vortex Pirates, who seems that the band of thieves could come to an end if they are able to find the object in question that allows the universe to be reshaped at will. The Doctor and Aaron have a talk in the console room as they want to give Josie a first trip that would be okay, as Josie walks in, slightly overhearing their conversation. But before she can question them, the trio are interrupted by the Vortex Pirates, who were last seen in Season D, as they capture the three of them to help them in finding an object that allows the universe to be reshaped at will. The Doctor gives them the coordinates as she tries to leave them to their own devices, as they keep them on board to check if the coordinates are correct, as it turns out not to be entirely correct, as the planet is moved to below the ship, as the Vortex Pirates decide to take a party of people, including the Doctor, as they want to keep the companions in case she dies to allow them to use the TARDIS for their own benefits. The team of five plus the Doctor move through the planet as they go through a lot of traps as they discover that as the universe reshaping object, as one of the pirates uses it to cover the planet in cash to help the team with wealth and fame, but because he doesn't know how to stop the flow of cash, the planet starts to overcome with too much weight as the Doctor takes the object away, as the party goes back to the ship as the Doctor leaves with her team. Situated by mysterious news reports, the Doctor is convinced to take Josie and Aaron to a party in the 19th century, one where a lot of people ended up going missing, and finally the answer may be revealed. A mysterious news report is sent to the TARDIS as it explains about a 19th century party that went wrong as the Doctor convinces Josie and Aaron to go to this party to find out about this hidden answer. Arriving as Lady Joan Smith, Lady Josephine Day, and Aaron as the Doctor's +1 as they are introduced to the party by the person in charge, Lord Frasier, as he opens up the mansion to everybody. As Lord Frasier opens up the planet, Aaron gets distracted by something in the cellar as Josie joins him as they disappear from the manor away from the Doctor as the Doctor is distracted by what Lord Frasier is doing, which is using the guests for something that is hidden underneath the manor as the Doctor leaves the room after Lord Frasier decides to allow everybody to have their feast without Lord Frasier interrupting them. After trying to follow Lord Frasier, the Doctor gets captured before being placed in chains that are connected up to a machine to sever her blood for various reasons. However, a bit into the process, Lord Frasier is electrocuted by an unknown force as the machine breaks, which allows the Doctor to find out more about Aaron and Josie before she tries to give all the guests their blood back. As she leaves with a couple of the guests, as they decide to keep this quiet, which inspires the newspaper story that started off the story in the first place. Continue from an unknown teleport back in Victorian England, Josie and Aaron arrive somewhere peculiar for the time, as it seems that they're now hiding on a spaceship that is using reserves of blood for something, but what is it? Josie and Aaron walk into the cellar of Lord Frasier's mansion as they are teleported somewhere unknown, as they wonder why a teleport is around in the Victorian era, before the two start sneaking around the new location, which Aaron finds out is actually a spaceship in space, as the two of them look into the reaches of space before they are arrested by soldiers. Whilst being captured again, Aaron keeps himself occupied by listening to the conversations around the ship, as he starts to piece to who owns the ship and what they could be doing, as he hears about a brotherhood of something that require the blood to do something else, as they are thrown into a prison cell with a painting on the wall. Josie asks Aaron if she can check if there's anything inside the painting that could be useful to them, as she walks in and returns to explain there is a way out, but it means they have to go inside the painting. The two arrive in the captain's room as he walks in already knowing why they are there, as he mentions the fact that he knew about Josie's power to travel through the painting since he was the one to place the painting in the cell. He then hears about the failure of Lord Fraser as it instigates to kill him using a machine that can transfer energy from one place to another. Josie defends Aaron by finding a way to loop the transfer of electricity which kills the captain as Josie and Aaron escape back to the teleport room to teleport off the ship to escape. The Doctor refuels the TARDIS before being sent on a mission to recover a lost prince, or she'll have to face a war that will be brought to her and everybody she knows. Knowing Josie and Aaron will be fine, the Doctor does the usual refuel to contain herself so Josie and Aaron can find their way back to the TARDIS, which unfortunately gets interrupted by a call from a queen that the Doctor saved a long time ago who needs her help. Hoping that Josie and Aaron wouldn't mind the quick trips to help the queen, she leaves Carlos to the planet to visit the Queen Ilia. Ilia tells the Doctor that her son, Prince Dalmor, is missing and that she feels that it was her fault she made him leave her. The Doctor agrees to help as she uses the Prince's DNA to track him down as he takes him to a civilization of aliens that want to use Dalmor to become the king of their civilization, but what he doesn't know is that they only want his essence and not his physical body. The Doctor tries to both convince the people in Dalmor that this is a wrong idea, which Dalmor agrees on when the Doctor reveals that the people of Solomon are going to do to him, which convinces him to believe her. But the people won't let him leave until the Doctor produces a political position for Dalmor, which means he can still be part of the planet, but he doesn't need to be sacrificed to keep himself in power. With this sanction, the Doctor brings Dalmor back to Ilia before she is knocked out on the Hoverma, where she wakes up in the TARDIS ready to leave. The team is finally reunited, but it seems that Josie and Aaron are not needed anymore. But this doesn't make sense. And why is the Doctor acting this way? And what does it have to do with an old friend of hers? Josie and Aaron finally arrive back in the TARDIS to see the Doctor busy with something else. She tells them that they may have to go before she's gotten herself into a situation that only she can sort out, which Aaron tries to argue shouldn't be right because they've been through worse situations than this, especially in Aaron's case as he reminds her of the fact that his home is now gone, which she ignores. Knowing that the Doctor's gone AWOL, he convinces Josie to stay on board the TARDIS to find out what the Doctor is doing and why she's acting differently. With the Doctor out doing something, Josie and Aaron discover the background to what has happened with the Doctor as they find out that she's been helping a race of aliens be provided the means to invade but has blocked out all the important details. The Doctor opens the doors as she tucks out Josie and Aaron at looking at the information as Aaron silently sets the TARDIS coordinates to the previous place of where they landed, as the Doctor laughs before unzipping her forehead to reveal an old enemy of hers, Mary the Slovene from previous seasons as the first episode ends. The second begins as the TARDIS jumps back to the last place it landed, the dungeons in the Hoverma, as Aaron rushes out to save the Doctor before Mary tries to gain full control. The Doctor places Mary in a containment vortex as she interrogates her to find out what her plan is, which Mary keeps hidden to the Doctor, as the Doctor tells Aaron to check where they were last, which turns out to be on Rax Crocopalabatorius, as he remembers that Mary's plan was to invade Earth. Landing on Rax Crocopalabatorius, the Doctor orders Mary to countermand the invasion, which Mary declines to do as she doesn't care and wants to see the Earth burn. As the Doctor sighs and gives Aaron and Josie teleports to help them prevent the invasion, as they disappear whilst the Doctor visits Rax Crocopalabatorius to find more information to help her and her companions. Aaron quickly runs the unit who have moved from the old warehouse site to a different one, as they have kept the old site for the Doctor, as he and Josie decide to turn on the planet defense system from Season E, which breaks under too much usage, as they look outside to see the Slovene spaceship's been taken out by something bigger, as the Doctor returns to the TARDIS, the containment vortex shut off as she's shot with a Slovene poison dart in the back by Mary, who announces that this is a whole new era of chaos, as she's brought the Daleks back to Earth, as she disappears with the Doctor in pain on the floor, as the episode ends with herself not certain how she can survive. Welcome to a whole new era of chaos. The last words spoken before the Daleks landed. Earth is now open to them as they see fit as the Doctor is dying. Her friends call in to help as much as they can, but will they be able to save the Earth one last time? Mary appears on Earth behind Josie and Aaron as she tells them that the Doctor is dying, as Aaron shoots her with a futuristic weapon stolen from Unit as she leaves laughing as the Daleks begin to arrive on the planet, as their spaceships appear in the sky, broadcasting a darkness towards everybody on the planet. With the Doctor out of the deal, Aaron and Josie decide to hatch a plan to gather more people to help the Doctor destroy the Daleks. Locating the databanks for all the locations for all the people that they need, the two begin as Josie goes to find Jade Morello. Aaron has to convince the married couple of Phelan and Aaron to join, who thought the Doctor never wanted to do anything with them again after she left. Ramona is contacted by Aaron, and with the help of Phalanx, they ask Ramona to help the Doctor in the TARDIS as Josie teleports and time travels back to the cave with this Doctor's first companion, Novak, who has aged since he's retired at the cave, as he's finally given the chance of redemption with the request to help the Doctor. Ramona arrives in the TARDIS with the old Doctor trying to survive the poison as she puts the TARDIS on Earth in the warehouse to allow the Doctor to give her reunion to her companions, as she allows Aaron to continue his plan, which is to stop the central Dalek saucer, board it, and then find a way to destroy it. Jade and Aaron begin the plans. They decide to fire weapons on the saucer to get its attention as it flies towards them, as they unload a nullifier to keep it at bay, with Phelan and Josie joining them as Aaron keeps a close contact with them, with Romana keeping the Doctor at bay as the 4 team members destroy the saucer, sending a shockwave which makes the other saucers destroy themselves at the same time, as the team returns to their victory. But the Doctor notes that she's going to die and has to go, which upsets those who wanted to continue and those who only had a brief reunion, before Novak convinces her to go, as he tells her that the universe still needs its Doctor. The Doctor leaves, whilst the team ponder on what to do next. Meanwhile, the Doctor slowly walks on the doors to the controls, knowing that she hasn't got much time left, as she brings up the TARDIS database to look at all her companions again, as she utters the final words. Thank you all. One day I'll get back to you all. And by then, I think I'll be ready. So, indeed, what happens next? Well, I'm sorry to say, but after the special, I put the show on a bit of a break. Why, you may ask? Well, my answer is that I don't want the show to end on the worst point in its tenure, or like how Classic Who ended, on the point where it had more ideas, but unfortunately they were cancelled before they could do anything about it. Also, I think with this, a new reinvention for the show could happen, and hopefully could be a success, as it should be. So, yeah, there's my explanation. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in and awaiting this video. I know it's been a longer wait than the one from Season 80F, but I definitely didn't want to rush this one, so I gave it a bit more time than the previous. I hope you've all enjoyed it, and I really hope this has perhaps inspired you to provide your ideas somewhere. A special thanks has to go to Matt for creating this series after all, Robert for doing his version, which really did actually help me in sort of how I would edit this and how I'd write it. Jean for the lovely thumbnails, and just everybody else in general who's watched it, shared it, and commented on it. Everything you do really just helps me with all this stuff. Although I will say that coming soon, not this month, next month, or maybe in a few months, Matt will be continuing this series for one last video, which is going to detail about the spin-offs of this series. Hope you stay tuned for then, and thank you, and good night.